Welcome to Building an Entrepreneurial Mindset, hosted by the Urban League of Greater Philadelphia.
This is the Entrepreneurial Mindset, and we're going to think beyond the limits, and we're going to create endless opportunities. Entrepreneurship is not for the faint and or weak at heart. It really takes a shift in the way that you see yourself, in the way that you see your business, and that's what this discussion is going to be today. Our points of discussion, as I stated, is very informal, but these are just some highlights: removing barriers, remaining open, strategic thinking and the importance of that, and then building yours. This is a question I pose to the team, everyone on this call, and I'll start with me first. What's your why? What inspires you to embark on an entrepreneurial journey? I'm going to speak about me. I'm not going to speak about you. So my why is I love entrepreneurship on a professional level, but I also like it in a personal level because I know that entrepreneurship opens doors, and not just a traditional sense, but also in a traditional sense. Everyone knows someone that has a skill or talent that can provide revenue for them. My why is being a part of so many individuals' growth and development, and seeing them plant the seed, seeing them water the seed, and then also being just a tiny piece in the blossoming of their seed. So that's my why. My why is I utilize entrepreneurship in my personal and in my professional life to encourage others and to allow them to see that a skill and or talent that they have can be bankable, not just for them, but for their family as well. And I think it's really powerful to know that we're in business to make revenue. We're in business to make a profit, but it just cannot be centered around revenue, profit, and numbers. You have to have something within you that wakes you up, that when times are plentiful and when times are a little light, that wakes you up to continue to do what you set out to do. And that is oftentimes your why. What does this all mean? I am a person of quotes. I am a person of quotes. I love a quote. So Brett Waters said this about entrepreneurship and a mindset, and I just want to read this to you. An entrepreneurial mindset is a set of mental habits that tend to optimize the successful pursuit of opportunity. These include a passion for solving problems worth solving, a willingness to test assumptions and change course, and a relentless desire to create shared value. What that means to me is you are in business to help your ideal customer solve a problem that in their mind they did not see solved. And then also you're in business to sell your customer stuff, whether it's a good and or service. And then my thoughts is you have to really be an unapologetic risk taker. Not just a problem solver, but entrepreneurs are visionaries, and they are committed to adding value in their own innovative way to their customers. When I saw this, me being me, I couldn't help but put it on the screen. But as we continue on with this dialogue this evening, I want you to really think about, what does the entrepreneurial mindset mean specifically to you in your business and or business idea? Removing barriers. I'm going to speak about me. You're going to hear me say that. I'm not going to speak about you. Removing barriers is so vital and so important. Sometimes we don't even know that we have created barriers for ourselves, specifically in things that we want to achieve. These are just 6 bullet points, but me and you both know it could be much more. Be clear about your vision and goals. Throughout this 10-week program, I want you to have that at the forefront. Please be clear about your vision. Please be clear about your goals. And when you're experiencing not having clarity, that's why you have 3 layers of support. The ULEC team, your fellow cohort members, and your coaches that you will be introduced to, not this week, but in the coming weeks. Build a strong network. I don't want to hear anyone say, oh, I don't know anyone. I don't know. I don't think I have a layer of support. I don't think I have the network. Stay informed on your specific industry and trends. You can know everything about your industry, but you also need to know what are the giants in your industry doing and how are they doing it and what are they missing? What gaps are they leaving open that could be a segue for you and your small business to fill? So not just know your industry, know the giants within your industry, and then also know the trends within your industry. You'll hear me say this time and time again, and we help you do this. Please develop systems. You don't have to have a $100,000 contract to have systems in place that walks your ideal customers through a processes, and working with you. That could be something as simple as when they email you, they receive an automatic response that whatever they have provided you has been received. That could be something of when you're invoicing the client for providing a service, they don't have to look for the link to pay you. The link has been provided to them through an automated preset email template. So think about how you want your process to be for your customer. And also think about what processes as a customer yourself that you really enjoy when doing business with other entities that makes it convenient and easy. I want you to embrace flexibility and adaptability. I want you to give yourself grace as you begin to remove barriers, both internally and externally. And I want you to stay resilient and embrace failure. Why do I say embrace failure? We learn our biggest lessons through failure. Give me any entrepreneur from Steve Jobs to Jeff Bezos to Marta, and they'll tell you some of the gems that has made them better entrepreneurs and visionaries have come from their failures. Strategic thinking. I'm not going to read all of this, but I'm just going to highlight some. Blend vision with practical execution. Develop and refine your value proposition. Analyze the data. Although I appreciate our family and our friends, I want you to analyze the data because the data does not lie. And take bold risks and be okay with that. Being an entrepreneur means that you have to take bold risks. Leverage your long-term relationships and immediate opportunities. So I want to really hone in on 2 areas. Develop and refine your value proposition. Continuously reassess what value you're offering to your customers. What may have worked in the inception of your business, I have found time and time again, may not work today. Be agile and be open and understand that how you start is not oftentimes how you finish, and understand that your business model is a living and breathing model. So therefore, please do not put things in clay tablets and not allow yourself to pivot and to grow. And that's how you really get into the frame of mind and mindset of being a strategic thinker, because you're always open to be creative and to improve you as an entrepreneur, but definitely your business. And that's what sets you apart from other businesses and entrepreneurs. I hear time and time again how individuals say, oh, I don't have the relationships. I don't know where to get the opportunities. Maintain the relationships that you already have, but be open to gain new relationships. So I'm going to literally read this one. Maintain long-term relationships that support your vision while also being quick to act on short-term opportunities. But here's the key, that align with your business strategy. So if it's out of alignment, I'm not saying to scrap that relationship, to scrap that connection, but I want you to be really intentional. That is this in alignment with the goal that I have for my business and or myself as an entrepreneur? Remain open, folks. Nothing comes to a closed mind. Nothing comes to a closed hand of fist. Nothing comes to a closed entrepreneur. You have to be open to receive the information you may not want to hear. You have to be open to hear the information and be willing to implement and or pivot. So please solicit feedback from your family and friends, right? Because oftentimes they'll give it whether you ask them or not, right? But also have your ear to your customer. I love purple, if you haven't noticed. However, when working with my customer, it's not for me to impose my favorite color on them. It's for me to have my ear to their mouth that says, hey, Marta, I don't want purple. I don't want grapes, although your grapes are good. I really love your fresh squeezed watermelon iced tea. Now, some of you food folks out here got me a little hungry and talking about food. However, I say that to say, you can love something so much, but if it's not what your customer loves, if it's not what your customer wants to come to you to support and or purchase, you have to pivot and you have to grow. But you have to understand that the customer is king. Embrace continuous learning. You continue to improve and you continue to stay sharp by the continuous learning that you do. I like to call myself a lifelong learner. I know a couple of things, but I don't know everything. So how do I continue my education in entrepreneurship and being a good leader and entrepreneur? I stay in the room where information is being shared, whether through a podcast, whether through a lecture, and or an event. It doesn't have to be huge investments. I would just really strongly encourage you to tap into the many free resources that are at our disposal that helps you continue to learn. Foster innovation and creativity. No one is saying that you have to create something brand stinking new, but what I am saying is you better be creative in how you provide that to your customer that is uniquely you. Please be agile and understand that the market is constantly changing and trends within the market arise and then sometimes dissipate. Be in the know of your industry. But all of these building blocks, I hope encourages you to be open to the feedback, be open to pivot, be open to be creative and innovative, but also be open to know the changes that take place in your respective fields and industries. In entrepreneurship and having that entrepreneurial mindset, it's imperative that you build a supportive team. No man is an island. No entrepreneur arrives to their destination and achieving their milestones along their journey by themselves. And I've taken the liberty to just separate ways that you could build a supportive team with your business. Mentors and advisors, engage. I'm going to say it again, engage again with organizations, networking, as well as industry-specific events. So the mentors and advisors help you with guidance, accountability, motivation, and resources. That is really vital. I'll tell anybody, I have about 4 mentors. They are all different. They all help me in 4 different ways. But what I really appreciate about them is that they help me through sharing their experiences as well as their pitfalls. So what does that mean? Mentors and advisors are your cheat codes because they are willing to share as well as give insight from their errors in business, their mistakes that they have encountered so that you won't have to experience that. How do you get a mentor? How do you get an advisor for Philadelphia? It's one way that you can get a free mentor. They connect with you virtually. And I'm not sure they may even have the opportunity to connect with you in person. Please engage with that free resource because mentors and advisors are amazing advocates for entrepreneurs, especially when you're in your startup stage. Entities such as the Urban League of Greater Philadelphia is an organization as well as sister organizations. Please utilize us as a resource. We have opportunities to help you develop in your business acumen as well as in your business through ways of programs such as the 90-Day Business Launch Challenge, as well as other opportunities for training and development of you, the entrepreneur. So please engage with organizations, specifically with the focus of entrepreneurship. They are in business to help you, not only help yourself, but to grow in business. So I encourage you to tap in. I like networking, and it's twofolded. I like networking in general, but there's nothing like participating in a industry-focused networking event. So I encourage folks to do twofold networking. Networking in general, meaning it's not an industry-specific event, that allows you to leverage relationships that you already have created, but it also allows you to gather more supportive individuals in your network. And then the industry-specific events of networking allows you to be connected to individuals who are either on the same path as you in business, may have a complementary offering and or service that they provide that is really congruent with your business. Please, these are places that you can gain collaborations, connect with industry experts, and potential investors. I always tell our clients that our elected officials are in office and in position because of us. And far too, more often than not, we don't tap into the resource that they are, not just on a business level, but on our community, our livelihood level. For example, they can help you with your passport. They can help you with utility assistance. They can help you with grants for your business. They can help you get plugged in with a specific organization. They are a resource. They are there to service you. They are there to help you. Please utilize them because your tax dollars is a part of the resources that allow them to be in office. I am encouraging you to build the relationship and to utilize and tap into the resources that they have, specifically for individuals in your zip code and in your community. This is just an infographic, but it's really good, and it speaks about just 6 pillars of how making the shift can help you. I won't go through all of them, but I'll highlight at least 3. Accept failure as part of the learning process and lose. Sometimes when failure happens, we, crawl up inside of a wall and say, I knew this wasn't going to work. I knew I should have did this. And that's one way one can look at failure. But another way to look at failure is, you know what? I'm going to give myself the space to feel what I feel, but I'm not going to stay here. And I'm going to reassess how can I become better from this failure and what can I learn from this failure. Please do not be afraid to take calculated risk. So what's a calculated risk? I'm not going to sign the lease until my business model has been tested. But what I am going to do is I'm going to put some money in my marketing. I'm going to put some money in my website. I'm going to put some money in the systems that will help me not just present well to my customer, but to make the process of working with me easier for my customer. I'm going to talk about ideas and want others to succeed. I'm going to have thought partners that will help me succeed. And you'll find that when you take the risk and you better yourself, when you learn from the failures, when you're not just rooting for yourself, but you're rooting for others, maybe in your industry, maybe in your level or scope of influence, you'll find that one step is constantly going in front of another. Focus on producing and adding value. I don't care if you have one customer or 20,000 customers. What value do you bring to them? And how can you constantly improve the value that your either good or service of your business promotes? It's not about ideas. It's about making ideas happen. So no matter where you are within your journey, your idea, pace yourself, be kind to yourself, give yourself grace, be consistent on whatever your vision is. Because it's not about ideas, it's about making the ideas happen. And sometimes when we think about that, we think about it has to be this grandiose, this huge bang. Not necessarily. Not saying that it does, that if it is huge, that it's something wrong with that. But I have found that by making consistent steps daily for our business, not only helps us achieve our short-term goals, but helps us definitely build a solid foundation for our long-term goals in business.